some really good foundational questions that we were having conversations about. One of the things that William and I thought of as we were putting together this part of the class is we want to get some people like Pastor, like John Yoder, who's coming next week, some of the others, and we wanted them in front of you because we want the Spirit to have a chance to poke you and just say, oh, maybe that's something I could do, or I know somebody that has a real heart for that, or we've got a challenge here and we're not really sure what to do with that. And the question was asked, so are we aiming this at individual disciples or are we aiming it at the church? And the answer was yes, of course, because we're better together, but each person, their gifts, their talents, the abilities, the resources, the relationships that God's placed in their life, each one has to steward those differently. So, as we have these conversations, Q&A, what we really want you to do is think in terms of what intrigued you? Where did you feel the Holy Spirit poking you? How might we be able to make use of that either in our family, in our congregation, in our community? And then you just start praying and looking around and saying, who else is out there that I could partner with on this? That makes sense? So as we keep going through the weeks, we're not just trying to overwhelm you with all of these great ideas. We're just putting them out there because we got feedback from last week that said, I didn't even know that this organization existed, and now we've got 3 other churches in the Twin City area who have already talked with him and said, hey, we'd like to learn more about how we can be involved in this. So that's the idea, okay? It's not to try and overwhelm you. It's to make sure that you understand what some of those opportunities are. So now let's spend some time with Q&A, and we'll turn this mic on. And so if you have questions, ask away.
I'm gonna shoot. There it is. I'm going to give you the same question I asked in our small group for 2 reasons. One, I want the other small group to hear, but more importantly, and equally, I want the people online to hear this. I think that a lot of people, when they're thinking about doing multicultural ministry and combining, say, your Sunday school with a group of Oromo people that are coming in that are second generation kids, the question always is how. And so I asked you a little bit in the group, how do we get people connected, and what are some things to be thinking about if you're a church that's saying, hey, we'd like to take the first step toward that. How do we get connected with a group? And then if we do get connected with a group, what should we do first? What are some things that are really important to get those 2 groups together?
I was going to say food, but I'm just kidding. Because food is common language for everybody, right? Yeah, when it is potluck down St. Michael, who cheers number 1? Pastor Pat. He likes to try every kind of food. But the seriousness is always immigrant community have, they come by the name of sharing building. There is connectors out there a lot. That's not a question now to find them. But if you find them, how do you find common ground to work together? Because I remember the Power of Gospel right now worshiping in St. Michael. Before they get there, they kicked out of 6 different churches within 1 year. 6. Imagine. They are about 110 people. Adult only. Ethiopian community average household have 5 kids. So kids is more than family, right? So everywhere they go, they always look one open door. That door is if the leader that shares the building come to them say, hey, not only sharing a building, we are not here for that, but how can we work with? That's what they wait. If they wanted to ask, they're scared to ask because they feel hierarchism because of building ownership, cultural difference, and so many issues to talk to that. But always it is better if it comes from the church that share the building than the immigrant who come to share the building. Pastor Kafialo, he never asked Pastor Pat, let's work together, unless Pastor Pat asked him. So Pastor Pat is the one who went there. More than sharing a building, what is that one thing we can work together, he said. And he got really joy, overwhelming joy, because those 6 churches, they kicked them out because kids was running around. But here the pastor is asking opposite. He said, number one problem was our kids, so is there any way we can work on second generation, he said. Pastor Pat, yes, we pray. It took them 5 years too, didn't happen overnight. 5 years until I come up. 5 years. But as soon as I work a lot with leaders behind the curtain to educate them culture, saying that it's okay to hold them, to carry them, to hug them, even to discipline them. It's okay, kids are kids. So the volunteers, it took them long to speak with immigrant kids the same way they speak to their kids. I don't judge that. If me too, I would do the same. I remember one day I was walking in a Mall of America. The kid was flipping upon the escalator. Somebody said, don't touch because you get liable if that person is bleeding or something. I said, no, it is not work in Mall of America. This is house of God. This is church. So when they run around, go hug them, hold them, say, sit down. It's okay, as you say. So always, instead of partnering only to share building or to share Jesus Christ alone, how we share Jesus Christ himself to each others, how we work together. Find one thing and give them equalism, sense of place, belonging place. So when you invite them and they say, oh, they accept my idea the same way I accept his idea. When they feel that, they are welcome. They are welcome. So even if it is Sunday school or eating together or having fellowship like we did back there, start there something you work together. Something you work together. So then they open up to more things. Open up. Sometimes we think we have to, some churches say, hey, let's come to worship together once a year. And they worship for an hour, they go apart. They don't talk to each other until next year. What is that point? It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. But what is that routinely? Is that fellowship, Bible study, or Sunday school, or what is that? One thing makes us bring together every week, every day, every time possible. Because you matters to me as I am matters to you. That's what immigrants always seek. Equality, welcoming, openness. Because me too, when I come, the reason why me too, I used to work in Wells Fargo as loan specialist. My first job, after temporary job, my second job was Wells Fargo because I don't know how I got into, but I got into. I always scared to talk to my supervisor because in Africa, you cannot make eye contact with your manager. You'll be fired right away. I thought hierarchism is the same like Africa. We don't make eye contact with our boss. We don't make eye contact with our senators. We don't make eye contact with village leaders. So when we bring the culture, we think it is the same. So even my first interview, the HR said, why don't you look at me? I look down because of culture make me look down. But in this culture, it has to make eye contact. For that reason, I didn't pass my job first time. Because I looked down when she tried to look at me. That is cultural problem. When that somebody say, lift up your chin, look at me. I am the same as you. Yeah? Your vision matters. Your ideas matters. Bring your idea, your vision. I'll bring some things that make us common. Let's work on it. Start from there. It's always work, trust me. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, I took too long. It was important, really.
Does someone else have? We've got about 2 minutes.
I just wondered what it was like to be out in the wilderness and how you got your footing and how you managed to start all these churches without a whole lot of training and without a whole lot of support, probably.
It was fun. That one I didn't talk too much. If I start talking about that, it might take me days. Yeah. There is a time we walk barefoot. There was a time I walked for 24 hours, constantly. Because if you sleep in a wood, we sleep in a wood, but there are a dangerous area to sleep in Africa because there is hyena, lions, tigers. I remember one day I was walking with my colleague. After 14 hours, I got starved too much. I didn't get tired that much, but I was starved because food is an issue too in Africa. And then we slept in dangerous area. So hundreds of hyena surrounded us, hyena. And I really got dead, like literally I didn't eat for 4 days. Nothing except water. Hyena, by their nature, if they see somebody looks like dead, they will eat right away. You have to move. In African hyenas are common in Africa. Day, night, we see them, tigers, elephant, and everything is not surprising there. So, my colleagues too, he was starved. We were knocked sleeping. Next to me, they eat him. They ate him alive. I don't know how I got saved. I climbed up on the tree, start screaming, act like I'm alive, but they ate my life. Those 5 years, 14 pastors, prayed pastor like me, ate by hyena from the same, next to me, by hyena. It is not amazing for us because we see that every day, like Paul said in Romans chapter 8, right? For us, either they die by starving or by disease or by food or by hyena, by lions, tigers. Every day we see that. There was such danger when we see that. There is such extreme danger. That's why when I came here, the passion, I was talking earlier to the small group. I send money by working 2-3 jobs to train at least 10 to 15 pastors a year over there to reach that unreachable place. Thanks to God, dollar is expensive. If I send $500 a month, it pay 15 pastors their monthly fee, school fee, rent, and the food. I tell everybody, there are so many people who help me. 15. Then after they graduate from Lutheran Seminary in capital city Addis Ababa, they go to the very village. My friend was eaten by hyena. The danger is extreme, but the love of Christ, where Christ got me, doesn't let me sleep. The passion, for me, even I rejoice if hyena eat me and they kill me. Because I was die on the purpose, but God always saved me. It's not because of I am special, but it is left something to do yet, still. That's why. But the danger is even more than hyena.